Hello. Welcome to Political Science 131. I'm Dr. Eric Rader. I am your instructor this semester, so welcome to the class. As you know, this is an 8-week class. It will run until the end of the semester, and we will be covering quite a bit of material in the next 8 weeks. So hopefully you're ready to do the work and the reading and the assignments. We do begin each week with essentially two chapters in the book, two topics every week. And by the end of the semester, we will have covered everything in the book and all of the key topics. There is at least one written assignment each week. Usually there are two. In some weeks, you'll have both a discussion board and a critical thinking question. In other weeks, you'll have just a discussion board. And then you also have 3 exams this semester. The exams are evenly spaced out. The first one will be a couple weeks into the semester, and then essentially every couple of weeks you'll have an exam, with the final exam being at the end of the semester. I should say to you that the final exam is not a cumulative assessment. It just covers the last 4 or 5 chapters in the book. So each exam covers roughly about 4 to 5 chapters. As you do the work each week, it's important that you're familiar with how to use Moodle. Moodle is the course management system we use at Henry Ford College. It's also sometimes referred to as HFC Online, but that is where all the assignments will be available. Please note we are not using Zoom for our classes. This is not a class that meets at a specific time. We do have other classes at Henry Ford that do have set times to meet. Those are the live without the drive classes, but this class actually is a 100% online class, which means that we don't use Zoom. You'll be doing the assignments, the readings, watching videos and so forth throughout the week, and just make sure that you are familiar with the due dates and due times for assignments, but we will not be meeting at specific times as you might be doing in other classes. And again, this is a 100% online class, and that's the way it was set up. So I know it gets a little confusing because some classes have Zoom and some don't, but this is not a Zoom class. I am available, however, to meet by Zoom if you ever want to. If you have any questions, I can do one-on-one appointments with students. I'm not actually on campus right now because of the pandemic. I'm working from home, but I'm always glad to meet with students on Zoom, and I'm also glad to talk by phone if you prefer that. So you're not required to meet with me by phone or Zoom, but if you ever have questions or you want to talk about your grade in the class or whatever, I'm always available to meet. Just send me an email. My email is in the syllabus, or you can leave a voicemail for me at the phone number listed on the syllabus, and we will set up a time to meet if that's something you'd like to do. So again, we are packing a lot into the semester. It moves very quickly, so it's important that you log in on the very first day of class so that you don't fall behind. There will be, again, two chapters each week to read. And then you'll have usually 1 or 2 written assignments to complete as well. And then at the beginning of the semester, in addition to the written work, there will be a quiz on the syllabus. And please take a look at the syllabus to see when that quiz, the due date is, when it will open and when it will close. All of the quizzes and exams will be done on the Moodle system. They are all timed, which means that when you log into an exam or a quiz, it will kind of have a countdown. I don't know that you'll be able to see the countdown, so you need to be aware of what the time limits are for exams or quizzes. And the time limits are listed in the syllabus. So make sure you familiarize yourself with that, because if you run out of time, the system will automatically submit your exam or your quiz, and your score will be based on however many questions you answered out of the total number. So you want to make sure you give yourself enough time so you can answer all of the questions and not lose points for that. On everything, the quizzes and the exams, you are able to take the quiz or the exam twice, and your higher grade will be the one that I count. So, for example, on say exam number 1, you can take it. You'll have the full time. You'll take the exam, answer the questions. There are 80 questions on the exam. Answer the questions, and then submit it. And you should be able to see how many points you earned out of the total number that are available. And then you'll just decide if you want to take it a second time or if you're satisfied with your score on the first attempt. If you do take it a second time, you'll get a different selection of questions. Your clock will reset, and you'll have the full time again. But just be aware that there is also a due time for exams, a time when it will close. So you want to make sure that if you're taking an exam twice, because you want to get the higher grade to count, that you give yourself enough time that you can take it twice before the exam closes. Because once it closes, you won't be able to take it. And if it closes in the middle of your attempt, again, it's going to you're going to lose points. So just be very aware of the time and follow the instructions. And I will email you this before you take your first exam or your first quiz, so that you're familiar with all of that. There's always a question too. People ask, is it open book or open note? It essentially is, because obviously I'm not going to be monitoring you while you're taking it. I certainly can. I will be monitoring when people log in and when they log out of an exam. I do have access to those records, so I can know what time you logged in, when you logged out, and I have information not just on the exams but also on the assignments. But with regard to the exam, it's not set up to be an open book exam, meaning that it is timed. But I also know that you may need to look up an answer here or there. Just understand that you're not going to have enough time to look up every answer. You really want to be prepared when you log in. Study. There will be a review sheet included with for each exam. And also there are test questions at the end of each chapter that you can review, because again, it's not set, it is timed. It's timed so that you have a little over maybe a minute and a half or so per question. They're all multiple choice questions. So you have a limited amount of time, but if certainly if you're in a situation, you're looking at a question, you're not really sure the answer, you would have a little bit of time to look it up, but just be aware that you can't do that with every question, or you'll run out of time and you won't do well in the exam. So that's kind of the answer to that. It's not really open book, but you can look something up if you need to, but you should not count on being able to look up every answer, because you won't be able to do that. A couple other things. Again, we're not on campus because of the pandemic, but I'm certainly glad to meet with you online, on Zoom or by phone. If you have any questions that come up, please email me. It's really, again, these short 8-week semesters go very quickly, and I know it's easy to fall behind in the work. So make sure you have time set aside throughout your week to do the assignments, particularly in the weeks. There are going to be some weeks when you have 2 written assignments due. And so you want to make sure that you set enough time aside that you can complete, if you have 2 written assignments in a week, that you can complete them both. If you have 2, you're going to have at least a discussion board and then possibly an essay. The discussion board shouldn't take you too long. The rubric in this is listed in the syllabus, but essentially it's 10 sentences, 5 sentences for your first response and 5 sentences for your second response. So you're going to respond to the question, and then after you've responded to it, you'll be able to see other students' responses, and then you'll reply to one of the other students in the class. Your first response needs to be a minimum of 5 sentences. If it's a little bit longer, then your second response could be shorter. So the 2 responses together should equal 10 sentences. So, and that's all in the syllabus, but I just, to let you know, the total together need to be 10 full sentences. If your first response is 6 sentences, then your second one could be only 4 sentences. But and this is all in the syllabus. Make sure if you use any outside, so that's the discussion board. Again, your first response is due on Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. If you submit it after Thursday night, then you'll lose 3 points. And the reason I have it set up that way is I want to encourage all of you to respond early on the week, or at least not before. I want to make sure that there are posts that you can respond to. So if I had it set up where everything was due at the same time on Sunday night, which is when assignments are finally due, then it would run the risk that people would just wait until late on Sunday, and students wouldn't have posts to respond to, because again, you can't see the other posts until you've submitted your own. So to encourage you not to wait until Sunday, I give you an incentive to submit your first response by Thursday night, and then all of your other responses by Sunday. Again, if you submit both of your responses on Sunday night, you'll get credit, but you're going to lose 3 points. So just be aware that if that doesn't make sense, let me know, and I can explain it to you again in email. But so Thursday night, 11:59 p.m., your first response is due, and then Sunday night, 11:59 p.m., both of your responses would be due. And then if you have a critical thinking assignment that's due in the same week, that's an essay assignment, 400 words. That's going to be due on Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so just be aware in the weeks that you have, you're always going to have a discussion board, but in some weeks you'll also have a critical thinking. I think there's one week where you will only just have a critical thinking. But in the weeks when you have both assignments, just give yourself enough time so that you are able to do the two assignments. Because if you miss one of them, you're going to lose points, and you don't want to lose points. So just again, take a look at the syllabus. All of the due dates and times are listed. Everything is always due at 11:59 p.m. Whether it's an exam, a quiz, a discussion board post, or an essay, it's always due at 11:59 p.m. But just be aware of the dates and that things are due. I think that's it. I also will include YouTube videos like this one on different topics so that you can watch. Usually they're around 8 to 10 minutes where you can, I'm going over a topic that's relevant to that week. Some of these are videos I've recorded in previous years, so I may look a little different because this video I've just recorded this semester, but some of them were recorded in previous semesters or even previous years, so that's why I may look different in different videos. It's just a matter of when I recorded it, but if the topic hasn't changed much, I don't need to update the video. One last thing, and that is you are using an online version of the textbook. It's called American Government and Politics Today. It is available on the Moodle site. You do not have to purchase it separately because when you registered for this class, you actually there was a fee included with your registration that covered the cost of the book. And it's an online book. You will click on it on the website for the class, and you'll be able to read it online. The only exception to that is if you happen to opt out of the book when you register for the class, then you would have to buy it separately. You'll know if you did that because you would have made that conscious choice to opt out. Most students do not opt out, but if you did happen to opt out when you were registering, it's important you get a copy of the book. Email me if you have any questions, and I can let you know if you opted out. But if you're able to click on the book and it opens up for you, then you're fine. All right, I hope that makes sense. Again, it's going to move very quickly. I know there's a lot going on right now, and it's important that you get it right into the material because there are participation requirements at the beginning of the semester that are important. Otherwise, you won't be able to continue in the class, okay? So again, anytime you have any questions, send me an email, ewrader@hfcc.edu, which is on the syllabus, or call my office number. Even though I'm not on campus, I can respond to voicemails left at that number, and that is 313-845-9709. Again, all this information is in the syllabus. All right, so looking forward to having a great semester with you, and I hope you have a good semester. All right, take care.